What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New year, new gun. So I've never done this kind of video before where it's an out-of-the-box review. I did open this up at the FFL dealer. I looked at it. Right off the bat, I'm going to tell you there's things that I like about it and there's things that I don't like about it, and we'll get into that. But I thought I'd just try an out-of-the-box review. So if you are here for a 1, 2, 3, 4,000 round rundown of how this gun operates, I'm going to save you some time. Just leave right now because this is not the video for you. 0 rounds have been put on this gun. I am just going to explain what I like about it and what I don't like about it out of the box, trying to keep it simple. Okay. I am going to preface that with, I did find some things. Well, you know what? I'll just get into it when I get into it. All right. So here's the big reveal. All right. So here we go. Let's get this out of the way. Let's move this box out of here. Okay. So Palmetto State Armory, obviously. AK-104. So let's get right into it. This is the AK-104. It's part of the 100 series. The 100 series is essentially based on the AKM, which is the modernized AK, which is the modernized version of the AK-47. This is a 7.62 by 39 pistol. It is a pistol because the barrel length is 12.5 inches. It's not 16.1. Blow me, ATF, and your stupid rules. So it's outfitted with, excuse me, outfitted with a brace. This is the SBA3 brace. We'll get into it. But those are essentially the overall specs from it. This particular model did come with the JL Billet handguard and upper receiver here. So let's get right into it, shall we? Out of the box review. So what you get the rifle, or I'm sorry, pistol. Oof, sorry ATF, it's a brace, sorry, pistol. And one Magpul 30 round AK magazine. Okay, the gun is empty here. All right, so let's do first impressions, okay? Let's start up here. So we've got a standard, very iconic AK muzzle device. It's just kind of the flash hider here. I do have my AKV. If you guys haven't watched that video, I did a review of the AKV from PSA. I was thrilled with it. I was very happy with it. This is why I got another AK from Palmetto State Armory. So here's my AKV right here. So we're going to make some comparisons. Obviously, they are different. This one is a 9mm pistol caliber carbine based off the Vitiaz, and this is the AK-104, all right, which is a 7.62. So they're not the same. I get it, but they're made by the same company. So I think this is a fantastic weapon. You can go to Garand, you can go to Brandon Herrera, you can go to AK Operators Union, Military Arms Channel. All of them loved it. Put it through the gauntlet. This gun handled everything awesome. So I love this gun. It's a thrill to shoot. So that's why I went with PSA again. Some of you guys might call me poor. Yeah, I'm poor. So I went with the PSA, whatever. Okay. If it's a good product, it's a good product. But let's make some comparisons. So right off the bat here, AK are known for these little detents that hold the muzzle device into place. It's a very ingenious design. You don't need any tools. Well, we'll get into that. Typically, you don't need any tools because you can press down that detent. Like with this one. All right. You should be able to see the detent, which is right up here. And I can press that down and I can unscrew this muzzle device. Not going to do it all the way, but you can unscrew that muzzle device. No tools needed. I love that. We go here. this detent is recessed. I cannot get to that. I don't like that. Now, this might be based off of, this is my first, I guess, true AK. And maybe this is standard. Maybe that recessed detent is standard for whatever reason. I particularly don't like it because now I have to use a tool to depress that little detent and then unscrew that muzzle device. Now, I'm going to keep this muzzle device. I'm going to change a lot of other things on here. I'm going to get a lot. That'll be another video. But I don't like the fact that maybe, again, I just got spoiled with the AKV. I don't like the fact that I need a tool to unscrew that. Not the end of the world. Still a lot easier than removing a muzzle device from an AR-15 or bullpup or something like that. Lot easier, but not as easy as this. So I just wish that this was maybe a little bit more updated, a little bit more modernized, and the detent was easily accessible, but it is what it is. Going back here, they have the JL Billet handguard. It's M-LOK, so there's 5 slots on both the right and the left side, and then 5 M-LOK slots under the barrel. So it is very nice. I'm just going to get different furniture. So if you or anybody you know is interested in this handguard, again, it's for a 12.5-inch AK. I'll be willing to sell it for a significantly discounted rate. I think it's going for $220 online. I'd be willing to sell it for like $150. Just because I don't know what else I'm going to do with it. Moving back, the irons, standard AK irons here, they go out to 800, and yeah, I mean, that's standard AK irons. The charging handle, very smooth. The gun seems very well oiled. Yeah, it's a very, very smooth charging handle. No complaints about that. Standard AK charging handle. So I knew what to expect with that. Safety is very good. They have this lip here, so it's very easy to actuate. You don't have to come all the way up. I don't have the biggest hands, so for me, I'd really have to reach and then get that little lip up here. So I do like that they thought about that. It just makes things a little bit easier. We have a standard paddle mag release for the AK. Standard, no complaints there. It does what it's supposed to do. ALG trigger, arguably the best part of this gun. If you don't have an ALG trigger in your AK, then, well, your AK sucks. Well, not sucks, but it could be better because these ALG triggers are arguably probably the best upgrade you could do to any AK. The trigger pull is about 2 to 3 pounds, and the reset is phenomenal. So let's just go through it right now. All right. So we pull back. It's about 1 millimeter, maybe 2, and then it goes. And then there is the reset right there, and then, poof. I mean, come on, they're phenomenal. They are phenomenal. Okay. So the ALG trigger is great. Moving back, the dust cover, obviously it doesn't have a Picatinny rail on it like the AKV does. A little disappointing, not the end of the world. I'm going to swap it out, but they did have the foresight, and they are self-aware enough to give you this adapter on the side to allow mounts to be attached to the adapter so you can have an optic riding above the dust cover here. So I don't love the limited rail space that you do have, but I do like the fact that they added this to accommodate for, excuse me, I'm kind of sick right now, to account for an mount that will, that can accommodate an optic. Moving back, Magpul furniture, standard grip. It's the exact same grip that I have on my AKV. I like it. The texture's good and the angle's good. I don't have a problem with that. Some guys, they want to be full AK, so they're going to get, you know, those flared AK hand, I'm sorry, not handguards, pistol grips. And they're good. I've used them before, but I don't think it's completely necessary to swap out. And then moving back from there, we have the SB A3 brace. I don't know. I don't love them. They're okay, but I don't love them. I'm going to SBR this. Spoiler alert. I'm going to SBR it. I'm going to get a stock on it. I'm not going to get into that and make a separate video on that. One thing I did notice, though, and one thing I don't like, so if you plan on shooting this with the brace collapsed, buyer's warning right here. So look at this. So it's sturdy when it's extended. When it's folded, okay, it's not that flush, and it doesn't lock into place. That's a big problem if you plan on shooting it folded, because that's just it's gonna be all over the place. So again, I think I was spoiled with the AKV, because with the AKV, Jesus, it sits right in. Very flush. And I don't know if it's on a spring or if it's a magnet, but once you get to a certain point, it actually hugs the gun. And that's very nice. So I think I was spoiled with that again. The other thing too, and again, this is standard AK kind of mechanics here, but there's no bolt lockback when the mag is empty. There is a bolt lockback for on the AKV. I don't have a mag. Well, I do, but it's fully loaded. So not going to deal with that right now. But there is a bolt lockback, or at least there can be when that mag is empty. And there's also a bolt release. So there's a bolt catch and bolt release with the button right here. So that is very nice. Again, not a standard feature on the AK, but I wish, you know, moving into more modern platforms, making it a little bit more user-friendly, I think that would be nice. Again, not the end of the world, but I think it would be nice to have maybe a bolt lockback or a bolt release. If we go back to the other side here, I didn't know what it was at first because it doesn't apply to this brace, but you see this little latch right here, this little hook. And I believe, if I'm wrong, call me out on it, but I believe that this is for a standard triangle folding brace or stock that when it folds, it actually locks in here. But as you can see, this does not even come close to that. So that little latch is right here. Doesn't even come close. And again, there's nothing holding this in place. So definitely disappointed with that. But again, I am not going to keep the brace. I'm going to put a stock on this. But I just think you should be aware of that. Okay, so full disclosure, I had another video and I decided to delete it. It was an open box review, same thing. But I was saying or so many times I wanted to slit my own throat. I rewatched it and it was obnoxious. And I'm sure I've said it a couple times here. I just say it subconsciously. I don't even realize I'm saying it. But watching myself back, I was saying it so many times that I wanted to beat my own ass. But during that first take, I bought some magazines, Tapco. So I have two black. Okay, these are standard 7.62 by 39. I don't know if you can see that. And I have two flat dark earth on the way. And I'll show you a little clip here of me not being able to fit these magazines into the AK. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back following these messages. That's not great. Is it the mag? Okay. You are seeing this in real time. That's not in there. That's what she said. And so, as you saw, I was having issues. And what I had to do was I actually had to file down the body here. I don't know if you can really see those scrape marks. Maybe not. But I had to file it down, guys, I'd probably say at least 1 millimeter. So at first I thought it was Palmetto State Armory, and maybe it is. Maybe Palmetto State Armory is not compatible with Tapco magazines. I don't know why they wouldn't be, because it's a 7.62 magazine, and it's perfectly fine with the Magpul, but I don't know. So I don't know if I was getting worried. I thought maybe it was the AK, AK-104, but then I thought, well, maybe it's the magazines. And I filed them down, and then they work fine now. They're not as smooth as the Magpul, but they work now. So clicks into place. It was a little quieter, but it's definitely in place. Okay, so there's the one, and then here's the other one. And they're in there. But I had to file them both down. So if you can get your hands on these, I heard they're good. Maybe they're not. Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe these are crap magazines. But I heard they're good. And I don't know. If you have a Palmetto State Armory, I mean, based on my experience, they were not compatible. I had to file them down significantly. And I know it's almost a guarantee that I'm going to have to file down the other 2 magazines when I get them in. Not the end of the world. It took me maybe 3 or 4 minutes to file them down, fitting them in, filing them down again, and going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until they finally just sit snugly. But just be aware of that. If you buy these Tapco, probably going to have to do some extracurricular work, if you want to word it like that. So just be aware of that. Again, this is a 0-round review. This is just out the box. These are my initial thoughts on it. I'm just an average guy. I'm not in law enforcement. I'm not in military. So if I get something wrong, please call me out on it. I want to provide the best information possible. And if I'm saying something wrong, I want to clarify that, or I want that to be clarified, because people that know a little bit less than me might be coming to my channel, I hope not, for advice. I would suggest going to real YouTuber channels with real experience, like Garanthem, like Brandon Herrera, like Military Arms Channel, like AK Operators Union, things like that. Okay? But I don't want to give people the wrong information. So there it is. New year, new gun, Palmetto State Armory, AK-104, out-of-the-box review. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment down below. If you like this video, consider subscribing. Share it with people if you think they'll like it. And if you don't like this video, then don't subscribe. It's that easy. I'll see you guys. Peace.